Hello! Today we'll be talking about aircraft ownership and we'll be finding out if a share is right for you. Hello, welcome to another Fly with Marco video. Today we'll be talking about aircraft ownership and particularly we'll be discussing purchasing shares in an aircraft and if that's something that may be best suited to you. We've had a few comments in the past week asking me to make a video of this nature, so I hope this helps and adds value to your thinking. Now, if you haven't already subscribed, I really encourage you to do so. It really helps show your support for me. And thank you to those who have already subscribed. So I'm going to give you 5 things to think about, and this will help you decide whether a share is right for you. Now, before we start, I've got a share in a Slingsby Firefly and recently purchased a new share in a Cirrus SR20. Okay, so number 1, do you enjoy flying with other pilots? If you do, then a share could be right for you. Personally, I like to fly with other pilots. I really enjoy it, and I always find if we've got 2 heads in the cockpit, we can achieve a lot more. Now, obviously, if you're flying with a pilot, one of you could fly there and the other could fly back, and in which case, not only do you halve the costs, but you can also share that experience. Okay, coming nicely on to the second point is, how much can you afford to fly? Do you have a monthly budget? And within this set month, I can do this many hours of flying. Obviously, purchasing a share, you're just purchasing, a slice of that aircraft. So if you're somewhat limited on the budget point of view, then buying a share would be great, because not only can you buy yourself your way into maybe a high performance aircraft that you maybe wouldn't have been able to own outright, but you can still fly it on occasions. Obviously, remember the ongoing costs to not only maintain, but to fly the aircraft are often greater than the purchase price itself. So it's important that you factor that in when you come up with your budget on how much and maybe how often you can fly. And just to give you an example, obviously we know the fixed costs of owning aircraft are extremely large, and I've done a separate video on this. For most standard GA aircrafts, C of A aircrafts that is, you're probably looking at between, or at least £9,000–10,000 per year in fixed costs before you've even flown 1 hour, when you factor in your hangar, your insurance, and other types of costs as well. Obviously maintenance and annual checks. So if you're potentially, say, buying into a 1/10 share, you're splitting those costs between 10 individuals, in which case it makes everything a lot more affordable. Obviously, because we've spread this fixed cost over a number of shareholders, this will actually means your outlay will be less, and therefore you could actually fly more hours per month than you could if you own the aircraft outright, just because you've got this massive cost saving here by splitting these fixed costs between, say, 10 people. Okay, so the third point that's really important is, do you want to manage the aircraft? So obviously an aircraft needs managing. You need to liaise with the engineers to fix any issues and to obviously get the annual booked and sorted. Again, you need to arrange insurance and make sure that's up to date. Of course, you need to hang the aircraft somewhere, and you need to obviously maintain that spot or find a new spot. So it's a silly question, but do you want to spend time in managing the aircraft? If you don't, then a share could be right for you. Or if you just maybe want to take on a smaller role within the share, it could be even cleaning an aircraft. It could be something like, liaising with the engineer just at 1 task rather than 5 tasks. Buying into a share could be right for you. Sometimes individuals are allocated certain jobs. So for example, we could have an ex-engineer in the group, in which case he deals with all the engineering. Over here we could have, just say an ex-insurance broker, and she could deal with all the insurance. So by buying into a share, sometimes certain members take on specific roles and responsibilities, which really helps the group as a whole. Okay, so the fourth thing that's really important is aircraft availability. How important is aircraft availability to you? Well, if it's really, really important, buying a share may not be for you. However, if you can plan ahead and book slots, and you're not supposed to be flying, every day or every other day, then buying into a share could be right for you. Most shares have an online booking system where you can book the aircraft for a certain number of hours or half a day, or depending on the agreement within the group, book it for the weekend or a week. Now, if availability is really important to you, and you can only really book last minute stuff, then buying a share may not be great. However, if you're flexible and you can book time in advance, then you can schedule your flying pretty easily, and buying a share could be something for you. Now, of course, this is on a scale, so not all groups have the same number of shares. Some groups could have 2 shareholders in, others could have 20. So again, the availability will range between the number of shareholders that are within the group. So find a number that works for you. And lastly, the 5th point is, do you want to meet new people, make new friends, expand your network? If so, buying a share is perfect for you. Not only will you find like-minded individuals that want to fly together and love aviation, but it's a great way in making new friends and expanding your network. So this is something that you've got to ask yourself. But buying into a share is great. Not only are you buying into a group, but you're part of a family as well. And both shares that I own, there's such a great feeling within the group, and we all try and help each other out. So I like to end these videos with a terrible joke. So I bought a new plane the other day, though I was disappointed they wouldn't let me keep the hangar. Thanks very much for listening. I hope you've got value in today's video. Thanks very much for the guys that commented to actually want this video. And if you want to see any more videos in the future, please don't hesitate to comment or ask me. Thanks very much for listening, and enjoy your day.